Check out this video I found. I want to respond to it, not respond. I want to react to it, and I want to get your opinion on it. You gonna get my opinion on it? The opinion of an everyday average man who tries to look at this world and what's going on through and use logic, reason, facts, use critical thinking and research and try to better understand things on my own terms rather, and not just listen to what somebody says on the social media platform or even on the news. So let's get into the video. Tell me what y'all think. Leave it in the comment section.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott literally sent these Venezuelan immigrants to the apartment building that ICE raided in Chicago. Yo, they was on some Nazi shit. They were marking people homes who they were gonna target. That's something I've seen in another police state that I've visited personally, which I won't say, but it rhymes with Calvin Klein. I'm gonna tell you why this is just an extension of the Civil War, late stage Confederacy, lost cause narrative.
Now, I don't agree with his comparison, to compare what's happening now to whatever he was comparing it to, right? Because if the comparisons he's making, if one of them does not involve people coming into some place illegally, it's not the same thing. What's going on right now is the law is being enacted. You know what I'm saying? People coming to the interiors of America, people coming to this country illegally without a green card, without being a citizen, without through the right channels. They come in here illegally, and the response to that from the American government should be to deport them, because that's what the law says. If you come into our country illegally, we find you, we send you to court, get your information down, get your picture taken, your fingerprints, all that good stuff they get, or whatever they get. I don't know if they get all that stuff, but they give what they get, and they send you back to your country. That's the law. That's the law. That's what they've been doing forever in America. That's what Obama did. That's what Bush did. That's what Clinton did. That's what Biden did. That's what everybody has done. You come into America illegally, you get deported. You ask the deporter-in-chief himself, Obama, right? So, again, that right there, his comparison to the United States government pretty much just following the law and doing what they're supposed to be doing, to what I don't know what he compared it to be honest with you. He says it rhymes with Calvin Klein. I don't know, again, I'm the every average person. I don't know all this stuff that he's talking about. But at the end of the day, it's a comparison. And my man went into saying this is just another form of civil rights, whatever. Like, do y'all hear the language, right? All he's trying to do is rile up black people. You see that? This ain't got nothing to do with black people. Keep in mind, this has absolutely nothing to do with black people. But he's going to use terminologies and stuff like that. And that's what I don't like, right? Like, it's obvious what he's trying to do, He's trying to get people riled up, but let's see what else he got to say.
I won't say, but it rhymes with Calvin Klein. I'm gonna tell you why this is just an extension of the Civil War, late stage Confederacy, lost cause narrative. In 2023, Texas Governor Greg Abbott literally sent these Venezuelan immigrants to Chicago on a bus in the middle of the fucking winter. We were giving them food and clothing because they showed up in flip-flops and t-shirts. 2 years later, Texas National Guard is in Chicago with ICE to capture the Venezuelan immigrants that they already had because they sent them here.
That right there is stupid. Like, that's stupid. That makes no. Okay, cool. Why did Abbott send them to Chicago? Why did Florida send them to these other states? Well, know why? Because those other states are sanctuary states. There are sanctuary cities in those states. And so what happens is, Texas is not a sanctuary state or a sanctuary city, whatever case it be. And so why would you not send the illegal immigrants to the people? Because remember, in these sanctuary cities, the governors, the mayors of these states and cities and stuff like that were saying, hey, illegal immigrants, come to us. We have a place for you, right? So in my mind, when these illegal immigrants came to this country, they already was going there anyway. So all Abbott did, and what's my man name? The governor of Florida, DeSantis. All they did was just expedite the daggone travel. Instead of having these illegals hitchhiking and walking to these places, they provided them with transportation. Because remember, again, these politicians from these sanctuary states were saying, these sanctuary cities were saying, hey, illegal immigrants, they don't want y'all, they're mistreating y'all, come to us, we have a place for you, we'll take care of you. And so Abbott and them like, okay, cool, let's send them there. What's wrong with that? If you are a sanctuary city or a state or whatever you want to call yourself, and you welcome illegal immigrants and you'll take care of them and you tell them to come on, when they come, or when the states who say, hey, we're not sanctuary cities, we are not a sanctuary state, we need somebody to put these people up, because the federal government at the time under the Biden administration wasn't trying to go out there and deport them back to their country and follow the law. They was allowing them to come in, and they was telling ICE to stand down, give them food, give them shelter, give them medical attention, and let them come into the interiors of America. That's what the Biden administration was doing, right? And so what choice did Governor Abbott have? Governor Abbott didn't want to, and DeSantis and the rest of them, they didn't want to be like New York and Chicago. New York facing money issues. Chicago, $1 billion in debt. California, oh my gosh. All because they're trying to take care of illegal immigrants amongst other states and cities, right? Because they're trying to take care of illegal immigrants. Texas knew this was going to happen. They knew what it was. They did the smart thing, and so did Florida. So they got rid of all the illegal immigrants as many as they could and sent them to the sanctuary states. What's wrong with that? All right. And then he says this, which is a lie. He says that they already had them, but sent them to Chicago just to then go back to Chicago and get them. In other words, what he's saying is that they already had them. Why didn't they deport them back then? Because they couldn't deport them back then. They didn't catch them. They didn't come into the country under the Trump administration. They came into the country under the Biden administration. And under the Biden administration, they wasn't turning them around and sending them back. Remember, Texas was begging the government for help because ranchers and farmers was finding dead Mexicans in their fields. They were finding truckloads, box trucks, parked on the side of the road full of dead bodies from people who was trafficked over here. They were finding dead children in people's property, and like this is what I'm talking about. So remember, Texas was begging the government to do something about it, to close the border, and they wouldn't. So what was Abbott supposed to do? So again, my point was this: they couldn't send them back to Venezuela because the government was allowing them to come in and was not helping Texas and was telling ICE to stand down and let them come in. So there was nothing he can do to send them back, right? Because keep in mind, deportation, federal issue, right? Okay, cool. So they didn't have nobody. They didn't have anybody. So that's a lie. To make it seem as if they caught them, arrested them, and locked them up, but then sent them to Chicago. No, they couldn't lock them up. They couldn't arrest them. They couldn't do nothing. So all they did, what they could do, was to give them a bus ticket to where they needed to be at, and that's what they did. So he's lying by saying that they had them, and then why would you have them just to send to Chicago and then to go back and get them again, to deport them? That whole thing was wrong. You see that? That's how they trick you to believing that this current administration is being mean or wicked or evil, because he just lied right there. He just lied right there. There was nothing Abbott could do to deport them, because the federal government was not allowing them to be deported. That wasn't happening. That's how we got 15 million illegal immigrants crossing the border. And we're not just talking about Mexicans and Latinos. We're talking about people from Haiti. We're talking about people from China, people from the Middle East, people coming in from everywhere coming through the border. So it's not just Mexicans that they're talking about here, right? So this dude is lying. His words is carefully chosen to make you feel emotional about this, and he's lying as he go. Again, Biden administration is when they was busting them to Chicago. That was under the Biden administration, and the reason why was because they kept piling up in Texas. Texas Governor Abbott was asking and begging for help from the federal government. They wouldn't do nothing about it, so he did what he could do for his constituents, because they didn't want that crap either. So he put them on a bus and said, hey, since y'all want them, here they come. That's what happened. He didn't have any help. He couldn't deport them. So it wasn't no, diabolical plan to capture them, send them to Chicago just to go capture them again. Like, what kind of sense does that even make? What would they gain by doing that? What was the point and purpose? So that was a lie.
And they're using that as an opportunity to attack black people and Democrats.
Oh my gosh,
to capture the Venezuelan immigrants that they already had because they sent them here. And they're using that as an opportunity to attack black people and democratic cities in general.
Can somebody tell me how they're attacking black people in democratic cities? Can somebody show me this? I don't want to hear it. I responded to a Facebook or whatever you want to call it post today. Don't tell me it. Show me it. Show me the missing black people that can't be found. Show me the families of the missing black people that are crying. And do you really think if black people was coming up missing and being deported or whatnot through these raids, that every news outlet wouldn't be all over it already? Show me it, because all they're saying it and they're lying. There are people who are living in these buildings where the illegals live in, and they are of different color. They are black people. Some of them from Haiti, some of them are from I think from Africa, from what I've heard. I don't know, but some of them are American citizens, but they like living in this building because it's rent free. Like they're just walking into buildings and just setting up shop in these buildings. And so, hey, they probably be homeless, black people, whatever. But this is the kicker part. They go into these buildings, they arrest everybody in the building, and then they sort through them. If you are an American citizen, they let you go. If you're not, you're going to go get your due process so you can be deported back to where you came from. Show me the attack on black people. And please don't mention the daggone riot that they trying to call protests, where they are shooting firecrackers and fireworks at ICE officers, where they're throwing stuff at them, where they're attacking them and running their cars into their car. Show me, other than those things where they're not attacking black people, but the protesters are attacking ICE and ICE is just responding. You show me where black folks is coming up. What's the attack look like? Let's see if he mentioned how they're coming after black people or how they're attacking black, whatever he said.
Venezuelan immigrants that they already had because they sent them here. And they're using that as an opportunity to attack black people and democratic cities in general. That's like robbing a motherfucker and helping them find what you stole. Or better yet, police planting drugs on a nigga to arrest him. Like sprinkle some PCP on that nigga. Now I see a lot of you motherfuckers still drinking the Kool-Aid of racial division. Oh, it was just Venezuelan gang.
Did he tell y'all how they was attacking or whatever he said they was doing to the black people? Well, know why? Because he's not. He knows he can get black people out. And this is the emotional game that they play. See, they get you upset, and they appeal to your emotion. Nothing this man said was facts. Let me go back. He gave you a little bit of facts, but a whole lot of falsehood. He gave you a little bit of truth and a whole lot of non-truth. It's true, Governor Abbott something to Chicago, but then he say they had him something to Chicago, and then go back to Chicago to get him and say, oh, we're getting rid of the gangs, and they're attacking black people. All that's false. All that is false. A little bit of truth, sprinkle it in with a little bit of truth, and give them a whole lot of fake and false narratives. That's what this dude is doing. He's appealing to your emotions through lies with a little bit of truth, and then he knows that your mind will begin to go down this negative path, and you will start formulating what's happened. You know what I'm saying? And so this dude is lying, bro. And now he's criticizing, my bad, talking about some y'all drink the Kool-Aid. Bro, it's true. It's true.
He's planting drugs on a nigga to arrest him. Like, sprinkle some PCP on that nigga. Now I see a lot of you motherfuckers still drinking the Kool-Aid of racial division. Oh, it was just Venezuelan gang members. It's us versus them. Don't take my word for it. Listen to the black victims of the Chicago ICE raids in their own words.
They was bringing the kids out too, had them zip tied to each other.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face.
All right, look, let's...
So let me... Now, I don't know the context behind those two small clips he just sent. So I have to use my critical thinking right now, or I have to make it a inference or a guess of what they were, because he said they are victims of the raid, right? How are they victims? You see what I'm saying? Now, maybe they lived in the building where the illegals lived in. They went into the building that was full of illegals, and instead of them knocking on each individual door, say, hey, they just go in there and they just raid the whole building. And so they bring everybody out and they check everybody. But then if you are an American citizen, where are they at right now? Where are those two women at? Are they locked up anywhere? Are they arrested? Have they been disappeared? Or are they standing there on the streets on national television talking about what happened in ICE raid? How are they victims? Victims of what? As you see the small, them clips was like 5 seconds apiece of them describing what's going on. But how are they victims? How have those two black women been attacked? How have they been wronged? Because from what I was hearing, they're rounding up black Americans and shipping them out, because this is the white supremacists going after the black folks and the black community, and they're using the raids as an excuse to kidnap black people and send them to different countries. That's what I was told. These women were probably living in that building or in that building or visiting someone in that building, and they came in and raided, and then they got them two women. They probably gave the ICE people their IDs, they're American citizens, and let them go, which is how all of them are going. There are American citizens being detained, not arrested, not locked up, not put in jail cells. They're being detained. And after they be detained, they are being let go once they've been confirmed that they're American citizens. Why? Because you got people from all over the world that look like Americans that's in this country. So they have to differentiate. They have to be able to sort through all these people, right? This dude just plays you two clips of two free women who ain't locked up, who ain't being shipped to a different country. White supremacy ain't attacked them, but they give their account about what's going on. Now, as far as the little kids being zip tied together, so on and so forth, I don't know, haven't seen it. I'll take her word for it. But she said she never had a gun put into her face. That to me tells me that possibly she was in the building they got raided, and they probably ran into the apartment or got into the apartment she was in or wherever she was at, and probably made her and detained her to make sure she was a citizen. Which is what are they a victim of? ICE don't just know you're a citizen just off GP. Again, the people who they're going for are in the country illegally, and by law, the people who enter the country illegally gets captured and deported back to where they came from. That's the law. What exactly are we fighting for here? And what is this dude talking about? Now, if those two women are victims in some way, shape, or form of an ICE raid, put it in the comment section below how they're victims of it.
Go back to the Civil War, because that's what this is. Civil War was a scheme of economic opportunism dressed up in the guise of an ideological culture war. Slave owners wanted to keep their free labor, so they made it about Southern values, racism, but it is about money for real. Right now, the same motherfuckers building, owning, and operating the ICE detention centers own the American private prisons, CoreCivic and Geo Group. They maxed out contributions to Trump's campaign, and they're making billions from this, bruh. If you're black still doing the anti-immigrant thing, you're literally falling into the exact trap of a multinational corporation.
All right, cool, man. I'm gonna end his video there. It's been a while since we've been watching it. This video is already too long, longer than I wanted it to be. But let me just say this, man. This is not a civil war. A civil war is between citizens. We're not warring against citizens. We're just trying to get rid of illegal immigrants who came into the country illegally. And the due process and the response, the effect, the thing to do when you come to the country legally is to deport you back to where you came from. And that's what they're doing. It's not a civil war. It's not a war against citizens of America. This is not even a war. It's just law and order being put into action. That's all it is. And they're trying so hard to get black people to be on board with this stuff. Do you see the campaign? There's a literal campaign for black people to support illegal immigrants. There's a literal campaign for it. And there's other videos, some Latino woman talking, it's crazy, bro. Because what they do is what they always do. They latch on to civil rights movement, which is black people. I want you to just look at all the people who has, all the different community of people who have latched on in the group of people to black folks in the civil rights movement and used it for their own gain. Used for their own gain. I want you to pay attention to that. And that's what they're trying to do with this whole illegal immigrant stuff. It's not a civil rights war. It's not a movement, so on and so forth. And it's simple, man. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's literally black and white. Tens of millions of illegal immigrants came into the country within the last 4 years. They're not supposed to be here. They're taxing on local and federal government funding. They are disrupting neighborhoods in communities. They're overwhelming resources like hospitals, medical attention, again, money, funding for stuff. They are burdened, and not only are they a burden, but they are causing dysfunction issues and crime to go up as well. So what does the federal government do? The federal government enforces immigration laws, and that's what they're doing. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. You let people you let them trick you emotionally into thinking that something horrible is being done. Again, Obama did this. The man's nickname is Deporter in Chief. The cages and the kids that y'all was talking about, they was trying to show all this stuff when Obama was president. When he was deporting, he deported like 3 million or something. It was probably more than that. So he built those cages, and they was trying to show the same thing back then, but they wouldn't let you. They wouldn't let you. They would let the news in, and even in the Biden administration, they wouldn't let senators in. They wouldn't let lawmakers in. They wouldn't let congressmen in. They wouldn't let nobody into the border, into those rooms to show it, because they didn't want nobody to see how bad those people was living and how they had them hemmed up in those little cages and stuff like that. But we're gonna ignore that stuff and only focus on the empty cages and the tens of millions of illegal immigrants that's running through this country and running them up. No, we're gonna enact immigration law. And also all the black folks, the everyday average black people like me who are saying we got no dog in this fight, you're right, you don't. Let the law do what the law do so that this country can get back to where it needs to be at. Anyway, that's what I got to say about that. Again, already a long video. So leave your comments in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on these things. Peace.